We're going to talk about taking time off before the bar exam and how to get that time off from your employer, especially if you're kind of afraid that your employer will either think that you can't hack this lawyer life or your employer will react negatively to your absence. Watch this video to find out how you compare yourself and have the best conversation with your employer with regards to this. Hey, I'm Jennifer Duclair, the bar exam mentor and attorney life coach, helping you to pass the bar and then build an attorney life that you are in love with. If you are approaching a bar exam or thinking about your study time, you know that your work life is too demanding to allow the appropriate amount of study that you need. You know that it's feasible to take time off and you can support yourself in other ways, but simply having the conversation with your employer seems scary. Maybe you need to stay on your employer's good side so that you can go back to work after taking the bar. Or maybe you're just really invested in your employer's feelings and thoughts about you and don't want to upset them or rock the boat. Whichever area that you fall into, I'm going to cover some preventative measures, things that might even decrease your need for time off, and then talk about how to exactly get that time off when you're having that conversation with the employer, how to approach that conversation in a way that would feel good to you. First, to get this out of the way, I'm going to cover right away that it is possible to prepare for the bar exam while working full time if you give yourself enough time to study prior to the bar and you whittle down your study needs to only that which is the most effective to you. I won't get into it now, but I have an article that I'll link below that will show you what you need to pay attention to and what to ditch in order to condense your study sessions into shorter spaces of time and make it feasible for you to study every day alongside working every day in just about 2 hours a night and 8 hours over the whole weekend. That's 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. You will be able to have a complete study preparation for the bar exam, including memory enhancements and optimization of your score if you follow the method that I'm going to outline in the article. So go ahead and look below for the article if you would prefer to figure out how to balance your work and study versus having that scary conversation with your employer. Now, about the scary conversation. I'll preface this with saying that a lot of this is internal work, and the internal work is a little bit of a journey, but it is done. People who sign up or beat the bar, my private one-on-one mentorship program, make internal changes in how they see themselves, how they see the world, how they see their future, such that when it's time to ask for time off for the bar, it's not even much of a big deal or even a conversation. They pretty much just give their boss the heads up, this is what's happening, and it's fine. I think it's because they already did the mental legwork that I'm about to show you how to do right now. And they were able to proactively do that mental legwork because they have a more positive self-image and more positive worldview. And those are things that change with mindset work, with the work that we do together in a mentoring program. So for those of you who are wondering, who is this Jennifer and what does she do? I don't help with the academics. I won't teach you black letter law. I won't explain to you the nuances. But what I will do is help you to locate the strategies and techniques for studying that work best for you personally. So I get to know you and I help you personally. And then I also locate those deep-rooted stumbling blocks, the mindset block that are keeping you from doing what you know you need to do in order to pass the bar exam. With those deep-rooted blocks eliminated and set aside, and with your study plan optimized to fit you personally, your brain, your heart, your personality, with that 1-2 punch, your bar exam success is inevitable. This is how I help bar takers, just in case you were wondering. If you know someone who needs help like this, share this video or my channel to them. I'm sure they'll thank you. Now, how do you prepare yourself mentally for that conversation with your boss? You know you need that time off, and you know they highly depend on you, or at least it feels like that to you. You may not feel very appreciated, but you know that your desk is piled high with work, so it must mean that you're needed, right? Let's explore that. The first thing I suggest is to actually log what work you're doing and when you're doing it. Are you working well into the night or over the weekends? What are you working on? What makes you have to work into the night and over the weekends? This is where we begin to whittle back the work that you're doing so that it stays within your work-life boundaries to begin with. Because the truth is, you can have enough time to study after working on the weekends while working full-time if your work-life balance is already in place. So let's work on that first. Take a look at every time that you're popping open your laptop over the weekend or in the evenings and take a note of what it is you're doing and why you ended up having to do it at that time. Did someone email you really late? Did someone come up with a last minute emergency, an emergency of their own doing? Did you procrastinate? Were you distracted during regular work hours so you're not getting to this until now? Or is your boss simply giving you too much work and they need to hire someone else or outsource some of it? Troubleshoot that. I won't get into too much detail on how to troubleshoot it, but I will say this. Just in the last 2 weeks, I've spoken to two different people. One person up-leveled their job and just went someplace where the work was better defined and they had a better work-life balance. And the other person actually polled some of her coworkers and found out that her terrible work-life balance was of her own doing. She was accepting these assignments, so everybody knew that she was the go-to person after hours and on weekends. That's really the only reason why it was happening. When she talked to her coworkers, she learned that they left their laptops at work. They didn't take that stuff home. And only in the rare exceptions when there was a huge deadline, which only happened once a year, would they even do a little bit of work at home. Other than that, everything waited until they clocked back in. And since everyone in the office knew that about them, nobody bothered with trying to send them last minute assignments after hours and on the weekends that they wanted a tight turnaround time on. They avoided those people. They only went to my client until she started to change. So there's that. Usually there's deep emotional reasons why you stay available to people, even when it's harmful to you. If you want to get into what those emotional reasons might be and dispel them, dissipate them, make them go away so they don't affect you anymore, I'm putting a link below for a mindset session that you can have with me directly, and I'll walk you through what your emotional strongholds are, the things that are anchoring in the bad habits. Once you get rid of the anchors, then the bad habits just float away. This is the effortless way for personal growth. Yes, I know about SMART goals and perseverance and willpower, and I don't subscribe to that theory. Growing, changing, and improving yourself can be easy if you know how to get down to the emotional root of why you are the way you are and just get at it at the root. Change the root, the entire plant will change too. There's that. So one is address your work-life balance to make sure that your assessment that you need time off is actually correct. It may not be correct. You may have enough time if you would just keep your work confined to working hours. The next thing is, while you're taking note of what assignments you do and when you're doing them, really pay attention to the types of assignments that your immediate supervisor or boss is giving you. This will show you where they need you the most. Added benefit is you'll see how indispensable you are to your company. Look around and see if there's somebody else in your company who does the same assignments that you do, and if you taking time off would simply mean that they have a heavier load. That might not feel kind, but it is a solution, and it does help you to see that it is possible for you to take the time off. Perhaps you've been the solution for other people taking time off. The load has fallen on you. Maybe it's your turn now. Look at the types of assignments that you're getting and see if there's not a streamlined way that they could be completed, either by getting ahead of it or by breaking up the assignment into different pieces and parceling it out to people who can get them done. If you see that there's any way possible to get the assignments done in a different way than just handing it to you, explore those possibilities. Just play with the ideas. You don't have to worry about whether your boss would accept the suggestion or not, but the whole point is to have a list of suggestions. Your boss may have never thought about how to fill in the space if you're not there. And also, when you have this conversation, having suggestions at the ready will help your boss feel more at ease, because even if they don't take your suggestions in whole, they have something to work with to create their own solutions for how to fill the gap while you're gone. And that brings me to the last way to ask for time off, approach this scary conversation. When you are armed with the hypothetical solutions to the kind of burden that will occur when you're gone, then you feel better about asking for that time off because you've come with solutions. As a boss myself, I really detest problems being brought to me without solutions or possible solutions also being brought. It really makes a difference between someone who's just a complainer and wants to be rescued, so a victim, versus someone who actively wants to do a good job. They just need my input, my support, my help to make the solution happen. And if they find a solution that works, they know me and my style and how our company works, and they just go ahead and implement it without bothering me about it at all, I'm all for it too. You know your boss, your employer, the setting more than anybody else. So decide which route do you think would be best for you. Is it okay to go ahead and start training the legal assistant to do certain things that you know that won't get done when you're taking time off for the bar? If so, then go ahead and start. And you can get their buy-in, letting them know that it's helping them to increase their skill set so that if they ever wanted a promotion or to go to another company and be a paralegal instead of a legal assistant, now they have this training. So what do you think? Right? And it'll make them more valuable while you're away taking the bar. Now, some people might worry that training someone else to help carry your load or supplying your boss with methods that they can get the job done without you means that there won't be a job waiting for you when you return. That is a possibility. I'm not going to hedge about it. But I see a greater possibility of your boss looking at you and going, wow, this person is really proactive. They really get the business. They really get me. And there's a huge relief when you see that someone who works for you understands you and understands your needs and knows what solutions to bring forth to make your life easier, even while they are taking care of themselves. This is a perfect balance because conscientious bosses do want you to be okay, but they can't read your mind and they don't want to force on you these solutions that they think will help you. Meanwhile, you're not helping yourself. For example, I could tell somebody who's working 5 days a week for me to cut down to 4 days because I think that it will help her to be more rested, to be more settled and calm, to have more time to calm her nerves because work can be dysregulating. And so I cut her down to 4 day work weeks. And unbeknownst to me, it harms her financially, or she uses that extra day to just get more involved in life drama, and it's not helping her at all. I much prefer the person who knows what they need and helps me help them. They come up with the strategies, the systems, solutions that'll help me to give them what they need to say, yeah, it's okay for you to cut down to 4 day work weeks, or yeah, it's okay for you to take 3 months for bar prep because they've helped me to help them. That's me as a conscientious boss, and I hope that you're working for someone similar. But if not, remember my story in the beginning. The two different bar takers, one had to up-level her job in order to get the treatment she deserved, and the other one was able to just give them notice, this is what's going to be happening, and it was cool. So maybe this need to take time off and your fear around it is an indicator that you're not working at the right place for you. All of that being said, don't be afraid that helping your boss give you that time off is going to let your boss think that you are dispensable. It actually makes you more valuable that you could foresee the problems and come up with solutions before it even becomes a problem. That's a brain and a conscientiousness and an ability for forethought that is very valuable, way more valuable than any actual working skills that you bring in your company, because someone who can think like that can solve so many problems, so many things in so many different areas. It doesn't have to be just about your specific job tasks. So being able to do that would actually make you more valuable to your boss. And if your boss doesn't see the value in that, if they can't see past their nose to realize that yes, you need that time off, you have other options, you can go get another job if this job doesn't want to accommodate you passing the bar exam. You know you're valuable, they know you're valuable too, and you're bringing solutions to ease the burden instead of just saying, I'm taking 3 months off. If they can't see past their nose to appreciate that and work with you, then you're probably in the wrong workplace. I'm not saying that those people are mean or evil or have bad characteristics at all, but maybe there's pressure on them from the top and it keeps them from being able to tap into their humanity and their empathy. Maybe the company itself is in scarcity mode. Scarcity mode is when you think you have to fight for every penny that you get. You have to squeeze your employees for every ounce of energy you can get out of them. Get them to come work overtime, but don't pay them time and a half. Like trying all kinds of things to scrape and survive because they have a scarcity mindset, not one of abundance. If you are in a law firm or any workplace that has a scarcity mindset, get out, because that mindset is infecting you. Chances are you had a scarcity mindset, or else you wouldn't feel comfortable working there to begin with. But a scarcity mindset will hold you back in everything that you try to do, even if it has nothing to do with money. Scarcity will tell you there's no opportunities for you. Scarcity will tell you, oh, well, only a certain amount of people can pass the bar every administration. I'm not going to be amongst those people. There's only a few pass seats available. You will make up stuff to fit the scarcity mindset. So a company that has a scarcity mindset is not going to be looking at the long-term overall benefits of you being able to take time off, study, prepare for the bar exam, and come back as a lawyer. They're going to be looking at the short-term costs of you not being in your seat, even if you have suggestions and strategies on how to get it done otherwise. They can't see long-term. People who can't see long-term are only temporary people for your life anyway. So I really would go ahead and line up 5 or 4 different places that you would interview if your current employer said, no, we can't accommodate your need for time off. Go ahead and look for those 4 or 5 different places where you would interview. if your employer would not accommodate your time off, so that you are armed with options. That gives you confidence when you're having that conversation. Now, if you want the easy way, because all of these steps are the hard way, and like I told you, I really believe that growth can be easy. If you want the easy way, then let's have a conversation about the lack of confidence, the lack of self-worth, the lack of knowing that you're valuable and indispensable to your company. And if your company doesn't see you that way, there is a company that's waiting, that's dying for someone like you. Like, if those thoughts are not in your head, then the confidence and the command that you need in order to present your question, present your solutions, and get your answer is going to be hard to come by. You'll be doing oodles of research trying to shore up your mindset from the outside. When I approach it from the inside, take care of the reasons why you're not feeling confident, why you're not feeling valuable, why you're not feeling indispensable, why you're not feeling like a hot commodity in the work world. Take care of the reasons why. Those things will slide aside and your confidence will blossom and flourish. And people want someone like that around. That's what I have for you today. Thank you for listening in. If this video was helpful, go ahead and hit like and share it with somebody who might need it. Thanks. Bye for now.